All right, before I give you guys materials for your bridge, I need you to do a couple things. One, make sure that you guys have your design printed out. Two, make sure that you've read your module guide describing the steps in order to make your bridge or truss. At that time, you can come up to me and I will give you materials. For your printout, you'll need to take your printout and you'll need to fold it right below your picture so you see the entire design that you've created. Then you're going to take it and tape it to the middle of the board. Now, you only need 2 small pieces of tape to hold this in place, but please try and make it as flat as possible to make it easier later for yourself. Then we're going to put wax paper on top so the sticks do not stick to the paper. I will give you a wax paper. You will cut it right down the seam of the wax paper. You then take 1/2 of your wax paper and you will tape it on top of your design. Now this, I would suggest use 4 small pieces of tape in the corners of the wax paper, making sure that it lies as flat as possible. There's your design. Also, write your Tech Lab number on your wax paper so we know who it belongs to. At that time, I will give you a stack of balsa wood sticks that you will be using to make your bridge. Now, for example, when you begin, after you've read these directions, it explains that you are going to begin by making the perimeter of your design, such as this example right here, the perimeter. Lay down your pieces. Of course, use your long sticks first. And then what I suggest is actually tape this in place, not going over any sticks that you will be putting down, so that stays nice and secure. When you are measuring your end pieces, butt it up against your stick, and then actually take your pencil and mark where you are going to cut. So you have a pencil line and mark. Then you will use the cutter that we provide.
We have 2 different types of cutters.
The red handle or black handle both work properly. You're going to follow your line, slide it underneath the cutter, and you're actually going to cut right on your line. That piece should fit perfectly in between your 2 support pieces if you've marked it correctly. Now, once you have all 4 pieces, you're actually going to glue up your perimeter before you cut anything else. What I suggest to do is put a small puddle of glue here. For example, like this picture. That way you can take your sticks and dip the ends in the glue and then lay them back down on your design. Most importantly, sticks must touch sticks. That is how it is staying together. Do not leave a gap between any sticks.
Do not put glue underneath on the paper and try to set the stick on the glue.
Correct, Mr. McGuire. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Once you have your 4 pieces in place, you can then move on with your other sticks and start laying them across the design and marking them in place. Now, for example, it is very important that you mark, if it is at an angle, the angled pieces that you will be cutting. You need to put your stick in at an angle towards the blade to match the mark that you had on the piece that you are cutting. Our example over here is a great example of a miter. Let me flip this over so it's easier to see. Here's some examples of the miters. They're cut at an angle. This should sit flush against the piece that it is sitting with. Here is a great one right here. That will make your bridge stronger.
Not like that. Notice there's no angle to that.
You do not want to leave a gap when you are gluing up pieces. That will not be secure. In addition, if you are creating a design that has a lot of pieces, you might have to stack some on top of each other. Please go no more than 2 sticks high. You have to figure out what pieces you're going to cut and lay in place on the same level and what pieces you would like to put on the second level. Usually, it tends to be stronger if you have everything on one level, but if you have many pieces, sometimes you need to go to a second level.
If you cannot exceed 2 levels, it will not fit in the tester.
Use the sticks that we provide. If you need more, you can come up and ask for more sticks. At the end of the period, please make sure that you do have your Tech Lab number on here, and you store this in your drawer on top of your binders so you do not glue your binders to the puddle of glue. And you may put your cutters and your glue bottle back at the end of the period. You will not leave the classroom until your module is totally clean of any materials left from the glue or the pieces that you were cutting.
One more note about glue. Please make sure that the cap is back on the glue, and please make sure that you do not cut any sticks with glue on them, or you will get glue all over the cutter. That's nice and clean. That's dirty because people tried to put a gluey stick in there.